That's when I said, oh, bless her heart. Then she yelled at me, I'll write you up. I then said, no, I'll write you up. Hi, Dawnies. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel and you like listening to sad, funny, ridiculous stories, please subscribe. Mom would say it's like a bad sitcom. So back to the story of how this cafeteria worker almost caught a federal case. So as I was saying, I didn't take it to the man. I took it to the next level of the lady who was able to make things happen. She had all the resources. She was getting everybody housing. We were getting cleared out of there. So mean mugging cafeteria workers should just have held her horses. We were leaving. So like I said, I had prepared another email, but then I added this email on top of the email I just read. I'm sure that I'm not the first to complain, but I'm trying to come with solutions. Not only does my spirit says that she needs biblical devotional dailies with a godly person guiding her in these devotions, because you got to make that clear, you know. I don't know who was guiding her. I know there was a time she said something slick like, oh, they can write as many emails they want. I'm not going nowhere. Woo, woo, woo. Okay. So that there can be a change of heart, she needs some anger management. Because also on this campus, they had psychologists and psychiatrists and biblical counselors. They had all kind of different behavioral health counsel. I used both. The clinical one and the interns. I was like, I need to talk to somebody. I need to get all this out. Because, you know, you can only talk to your friends and family so much. But it's best sometimes to talk to a stranger because they have a different perspective. They're not involved in the situation. They don't have to take sides. They can just be objective. Okay. So back to the email. I understand that she has been through some things. However, most of us here in the shelter have been through some tragedies in our life. Otherwise, we would be in a different situation. I say this as humbly as possible because, you know, when you're writing an email, they can't see your body language or see your facial expression. So I was trying to be humble. What brings this email to your attention is based on the interactions that I've had with Miss Mean Cafeteria lady since my stay here. Mr. Former Housing Person will let you know that I'm grateful for all the amenities that this shelter provides. So please don't think that I'm taking this program lightly. Let me mention this. So said cafeteria worker used to be in the same said shelter. And then she took some classes, like some culinary classes, and started working in the cafeteria. So a lot of us were confused why she wasn't humble. Because everybody's a situation away from being homeless. You could be working and still be homeless. There's, you know, with this crazy world, better stay prayed up. But so I didn't understand, nor did anybody else understand, what was the attitude? Why did you treat people like this when you were in said program? It was just weird. Okay. So back to the email. So here are examples of my encounters with Miss said Mean Cafeteria Worker. And yes, I have brought some of these matters regarding Miss Mean Cafeteria Worker to her supervisor in the past. Like I said, she didn't do anything. Okay, we already, I've already read the email that prompted me to give all these details. And These emails will be in chronological order, meaning during that time from the present to past. Oh, I had forgotten to add. Another resident prayed, and she told that resident, "I didn't tell you to pray," which upset the resident. Then Miss Mean Cafeteria said that we don't have to come to breakfast. Now, wait a minute. Y'all remember the rules said we had to go to each meal, right? And if we didn't go to each meal without a proper excuse, that could be a write-up and we could potentially get kicked out. So for her to say that, see what I'm talking about? What do you call it? Oh, I forgot the phrase. I'll put it here if I can remember. You know, it's where you know something isn't true, but your brain is all scrambled. They say it all the time in those narcissist videos, and I know everybody's seen those videos. Cognitive dissonance. That's what it is. So it was weird. So then Mean Cafeteria Lady said that we don't have to come to breakfast. That's when I stated, it's the rules, so we have to come to breakfast. I could have been a little petty there. Of course I was petty. By this time I was petty. I was in my flesh. I wasn't righteous. We're just going to be honest. Okay, we already read that email. So now, chronological order. January 27, 2021, lunchtime. While I was in line, I heard Miss Mean Cafeteria Lady tell Miss New Cafeteria Worker they only get one bag of chips. And she said this while I was looking at the box of chips. I saw that there were different colors, meaning different flavors. Since I knew that we could only get one bag of chips, I was trying to determine what flavor I wanted. Then Miss Mean Cafeteria Lady yelled at me and said, "They're all the same." I said, "But they're different colors." So she started fussing at me and at the next person in line. That's when I said, "Oh, bless her heart." Then she yelled at me, "I'll write you up." I then said, "No, I'll write you up." Grandma taught me how to write as well. Speaking of Grandma, that's how she helped Maxine Waters get into Congress. Previous video, they'll make that clear. January, I don't remember the date, 2021. I was talking to some little kids. Then I hear Miss Mean Cafeteria Lady yelling, "Why are y'all talking while people are praying?" Someone yelled out, "It's the kids." Then Miss Mean Cafeteria Lady said, "It's not just the kids, some of these adults too." When I realized that she was talking about me, I said, "My apologies, I didn't hear from." "You didn't want to hear them because you're just rude. Of course this." "You didn't want to hear them because you're just rude." Of course this triggered me, but instead of snapping back, I started praying for her soul out loud. Something to the fact, "Father, forgive them for they know not what they do. And Father, please help her release the bitterness she has so that she can inherit the kingdom." I was praying for her. I'm telling you, I'm still praying for her. I want everybody to make it to heaven, but you can't make it to heaven acting like that. It says it in the good book. So she can inherit the kingdom in the name of Yeshua. Okay. December 28th, 2020. Oh yeah, I need to post these pictures right here. There was a sign on the ADA door. You all know I'm disabled. And speaking of that, Help the disabled by watching my fables so I don't have to beg you. And please subscribe and share these videos so I can make it to 1,000 subscribers by December. I ask you kindly. So there was a sign on the ADA door reading, meaning, you know, I have to go up the ramp to this particular door to get into the cafeteria because I can't climb the stairs with a walker, right? So on the door, it read, lock, broken, don't use the door. So how am I supposed to get to the cafeteria if the door is locked? Should I tell the RSA, meaning the residential assistant, that due to this door being locked, I can't go in, therefore don't write me up? Because you know the whole thing is you don't want to write up because you don't want to be out on the streets, right? Turns out the lock wasn't broken. I took a video of it. When the RSA came in, I let her know that it is unlawful. Here's the federal offense. I know y'all were like, what federal offense? But here's the federal offense. I let her know that it's unlawful to prohibit a disabled person from utilizing the ADA door, according to American Disability Act of 1990. The security came in and checked all the doors. I asked him if he knew anything about the sign on the door. He checked the door and said everything is fine. You can use the door. The sign had been taken down by lunchtime. And this is in the email. Okay, June 2020, because by this time I don't remember the dates. I just remember kind of around the time. Oh, I mentioned this already, but I'll say it again. I was getting some rags from the staff table to clean off the tables. And Miss Mean Cafeteria Worker passively aggressively said to the RSA, it's time for some people to leave. I'm tired of seeing the same faces. March 2020, before the shutdown, Miss Mean Cafeteria Lady from the kitchen area had asked someone to pray. One of the residents, oh, I said this already, but I put it in the email. I said that in part 1 of the video about one of the residents was praying, but Miss Mean Cafeteria Lady didn't hear her. And so I was trying to let her know someone is praying, and then she decided to go off on me. If you missed that, see part 2 after this video. My perception, and since this March moment, it has been a problem every time she sees my face. Every time she sees my face. And every time she saw my face, I would quote said scripture. Get rid of all bitterness or you won't inherit the kingdom. Which, this one of those scriptures I have to meditate on myself. So that wasn't saying I had already plucked the plank out of my eye. So now it's time to help my brother, right? Brother or sister. Once you get it together, you're supposed to help the fellow man. So y'all be misconstruing that scripture. Continue reading. So that was the end of my email. And, you know, I didn't think much of it. It was just good to get it out. And like I said, the new person, she was making things happen. So about 7:45 p.m. on the same date of the email, which was January 29th, 2011, what can we call this lady? The boss. The boss. Not that she was the boss, but she was the boss of making things happen. So she actually emailed me back at 7:45 p.m. at night. And she writes, thank you for the email. I'm very sorry to learn about the challenging experience you've had while residing on campus. Please note that you are a valued member of the shelter. We strive to serve each of our community members excellently, y'all know I can't talk, and passionately, while affirming their dignity and integrity. And that was actually one of their mottos. I think that's why she put that in there. Again, thank you for bringing the matters to my attention. Please allow me time to look into the issues you shared further. I do hope that you have a restful evening. Best, the boss. Now, Remember I said I wasn't the only one with issues? In the shelter, they had a, we'll say a work center. And you can go in there and use the computer and apply for jobs. And they had all kind of other trainings. And there was one time I was using a computer and people, for some reason, when the other residents would use the computer, they would leave their stuff on the computer so you get to find insights. I didn't tell anybody this, but you can find insights about people. Well, and I wish I could find this email because I had copied it, but I can't find it. If I find it, I don't have a community tab anymore. But if I find it, I'll post it on Instagram. I'm getting better at posting on Instagram. Oh, and I have a TikTok. And I think you already know about my Facebook. I'm trying to cover all these. I don't know how y'all keep up with all these social medias. Anyway, the letter that she had written to the boss, she was mentioning mean cafeteria lady, and she was stating the interactions that she had, but she kept saying, yeah, and this obese woman, which is not funny because I'm obese myself, but this woman was kind of big. And it was just amazing how in the letter, besides her calling it, because that resident was kind of woo-woo, but it just goes to show that I wasn't the only one with the problem. And other clients had problems. So just know, if you mess with a disabled person, there could be a federal case. Because like I had read, the Disability Act of 1990, which I'll also post on Instagram, that I could have gone to the feds, and I don't know the compliance or whatever. Preferably I'd never have to do it, but I know I could have reported her to the feds and she would have had a federal case, and then we could have went to court and all that good stuff. But you know, I let the boss handle it. Now, once I left campus and got my own place, which I'll post that, house tour later on. I would go back to campus every now and then to use the work center because I didn't have a printer, and once I got my disability, I still had to fill out a lot of paperwork because the SSDI side is a little easier than dealing with the SSI side. Okay, so Social Security encompass the feds, right? But the SSI side, even though it's federal, the funds come from the state. It's kind of weird. It's like there's a state level where they do stuff and you have to report just a boatload of information to them, which I'm in the process of doing that now. Another reason why I hadn't been posting since I moved to another state. It's been fun. So when I went back to campus, I would go back to campus from time to time. And like I said, I saw that letter where somebody had written about her. Then there was another time I went to campus to fill out some other paperwork or what have you. And I was like, what happened to the mean cafeteria lady? Of course, I didn't say that like that, but I can't say her name. You know, we're going to try to protect her. If any of the residents that were with me in the shelter get to see this video, they'll know who I'm talking about. But let's keep her anonymous. Those who know, know. So I went back and I was like, where's the mean cafeteria lady? And they were like, oh, she doesn't work here anymore. So that's the end of my story about the mean cafeteria lady who almost caught a federal case. Just be kind to the disabled. I found out recently July is Disabled Pride Month, or Disability Awareness Month, if people don't like the word pride, because it, you know, But with that said, be kind to us, because we don't want you to have a federal case. Anyway, Dawnies, thank you for watching. Thank you for helping me get to 1,000 subscribers by December of 2022. Remember to toast to life, because it always makes for a great story. Please check out my other content on the channel. I ask you to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and I will see you next week. Bye.